Hello, I am in my car because today I'm going to be going on a bookstore crawl for my birthday. So Indie Bookstore Day was last weekend and I was not in the city, so there were so many different cities that were doing bookstore crawls and I was so jealous. And my birthday is coming up. It's actually in like a week or something, but I am back home to celebrate with my family and do Mother's Day and stuff like that. So my boyfriend and I decided to do a bookstore crawl, just the two of us. So we are going to be going to a couple of places. There are two bookstores in downtown Raleigh that are like new bookstores, but both of them sell new books. And I have never been to either of them before, and I lived in Raleigh for like 4 years. One of them was not here when I lived here. The other one I simply didn't know about. I knew about one that was further away that I went to regularly. So I'm very excited. We are going to be going to Blackbird Coffee and Books, which is the new one, and the other is So and So Books. And then I'm going to be going to my favorite, which is behind me. This is the Reader's Corner. This is where I sell all of my used books if they do not get sold on my Pango. If you would like to buy my books, you can go on my Pango, link down below. I am just parking here for the moment, and I'm just super excited to have a chill day and hopefully come away with some good stuff. I am going to be getting like all of my birthday gifts tomorrow, so I basically can't buy myself any books that were on my birthday list, so it's probably going to be hard for me to find books that I want. I more just want the experience of going to the bookstores, and we're going to support them anyway. I would like to get some bookish merch. One, I would like a tote bag. I really would like a cute tote bag because I have like one. If anybody has one of those book holders, like the little wooden ones, I would totally buy one of those. Even if I don't come away with a book, I will get to tour you through some bookstores that are in the Raleigh area if you are from here, and also get some merch. So awesome. So I'm just gonna read until Austin gets here, and I am reading Bright Young Women right now. This is fiction that is about one woman who was killed by Ted Bundy and two women whose best friends or close people in their lives were killed. It is going very well so far. I think it is talking about the terrible things and how people's lives were affected in a respectful way. It is being pitched as a thriller. I don't know that I would call it a thriller. I think this is more on the literary / fiction side of things. I'm gonna read this until he gets here. So first stop, Blackbird Books and Coffee, which is a queer-owned bookstore that is properly downtown. It's in the middle of everything. It is so cute in there. They had a small selection of coffees you could get and like vegan and gluten-free pastries and desserts, and they had like a good amount of area for people to like sit down and enjoy their book and drink or whatever. And it just like, man, I would have spent so much time there in college. There's like free parking right by there, which is hard to come by in Raleigh. They had a banned books display, and they had a whole lot of genres and like a good selection of stuff. It felt like a unique selection of things, not necessarily the most popular books of the moment. They felt curated, and it felt fairly similar to my taste for the most part. So I felt very at home there, and I will definitely be going back. First up, I ended up getting a Blackbird tote bag. I don't really have that many cute tote bags, and I saw so many people getting them for Indie Bookstore Day, so that was on my agenda. So I'm very glad I did. So I had to pick books that weren't on that list, and luckily there were a couple books that I really wanted that I found. So the first of them is Homegoing by Ya Jessie. This is one of my favorite books, period. Ya Jessie has written 2 books that I've given 5 stars out of her 2 books she's written. I read this in high school and I loved it so much that I took notes during it, and then I bought it and gave it to my English teacher. This is about 2 girls in Africa who are half sisters. One of them ends up getting sold into slavery, and one of them gets married to an Englishman who is selling slaves and staying in Africa. And we ping pong between their children in the generations. So there is a family tree. I love an intergenerational story, and this is like one of the first ones I ever read like that. And I'm so glad to have this copy because I like this cover so much more than the first one, and it'll match my used copy I have of Transcendent Kingdom, which I love. If you like generational fiction, #1 recommendation, love it. Then I ended up finding A Sky Full of Elements by Sibo Campbell. This is one of the biggest sci-fi books of last year. I think it came out towards the end of it, where one day all of the white people wake up and walk themselves into the ocean. Charlie is a Black man who was previously imprisoned, and now he is a professor at Howard University, and he has a mixed race daughter who grew up with her mother, and she has essentially not grown up around Black people, Black culture like at all. I know it's about them like finding each other. Everybody who I've seen read this book loves it, and I just have such high hopes. I love a book with a really weird synopsis. This sounds like something that would be so up my alley. If this ends up on my best books of the year list, I would not be shocked. Then we ended up going to across the street to one of our favorite restaurants downtown, the Raleigh Times, which is like a pubby place, but they have fantastic drinks. We've gotten the sangria from there before, so good. And we ended up getting mimosas, and Austin got some chicken, and I got from their breakfast place that's right next door, breakfast burrito, and we just had a very chill time. It was so beautiful outside. I just like could not stop being like, oh my god, it's so beautiful outside. But we ended up driving over to So and So Books. I had never heard of it before, and like it was, you know, a reasonable distance away from me and open while I was there in college, so I don't know how I didn't find out about it. It was a really nice store. It honestly had like a really interesting selection of nonfiction, like a huge amount. There's a lot of like photo books. I think they had about the same amount of fiction and nonfiction, and just a lot of space to be able to breathe and like look at the books and everything. It was just very clean and very nice. I didn't end up getting anything from there because just about every single book that I wanted to get from there, I specifically wanted to listen to on audiobook, so I held off. I dropped my camera, moved, and after that we dropped by a couple of little free libraries that were right nearby. I didn't find anything at the first 2 I went to, but I ended up finding something. I needed, or I could have needed, a specific book for an upcoming vlog, and I had a bunch of old books that I haven't been able to sell that I wanted to get rid of. So I was trying to get trades for some, and there is an upcoming vlog that I have coming out at the end of May that I needed to read A Raisin in the Sun for, and when it came up, I'm like, oh, I don't feel like, I'm not reading Raisin in the Sun, knowing nothing about it, knowing only that it's a modern classic, and I was like, oh, that's like so much brain power. It's not like up there on my TBR of books I want to read. And then it just happened to be the little free library, and unbeknownst to me, it's tiny. It's like 150 pages. Oh, is this a play? I knew it was a play. I knew there was a reason why this wasn't on my TBR, and it's because it's a play. So I am going to be considering whether I want to experience this as a script and read it for a vlog, or if maybe I want to read it and then watch the movie, or if I just want to read something else for the vlog. But I cannot believe that I was like, I'm not gonna read Raising the Sun, I need to figure something out for it. And then literally the next day after I say that, I find it, which is crazy because I've literally never seen a print version of this. But and the last place we went was my favorite used bookstore in the entire world, and that is Reader's Corner. It is on Hillsborough Street, which is where NC State is. So a lot of times when I had class that was up near there, I would just walk over. There's a local coffee shop that's across the street that's super popular, so it is a hangout for me for sure. I already had a ton of credits that I could use there, but I brought them a new stack. All of those were books that I didn't think I was going to be able to sell. They actually ended up taking 2 of them, which surprised me. I sold them Atonement, which was the movie tie-in edition, and also the Sarah Pekkanen Greer Hendricks book that's red. Is it An Anonymous Girl? I sold those 2, got like $4.50 in credits. Just had a blast looking around the store. They always have so much. Their fiction selection specifically, like their literary general fiction section, is so good. They just always have something that I've been really meaning to get to. And in fact, they actually had Homegoing. That's where I bought Transcendent Kingdom. They actually had Homegoing, so I'm a little bit mad that I bought a new copy of it, especially because I've already read the book when a used copy was there and it was in perfect condition. I found a couple things. I found a box set of all of Monty Python's Flying Circus. I just got that for my dad for Father's Day. That's coming up. Fantastic. Austin went over and found the D&D books. There's one that's Magic the Gathering and D&D source book that he was really looking into because he loves magic. But I ended up finding 2 books for myself, one of which I have already read, and that is Hello Beautiful by Ann Napolitano. This is my favorite book that I have read so far this year. I read it in a vlog if you'd like to catch that here. There's a little bit of what looks like water damage like right at the back of the book, but like otherwise this is a very solid copy. This is about the Padovano family of 4 sisters and the messy things that happen in their life. It takes place over decades and it is inspired by Little Women. There's a lot of like little plot points here and there or characteristics of the girls that will remind you of Little Women, and I just thought the way that these characters just jumped off the page, I was so sucked in by this. I just absolutely loved it, and I really liked how this also talked about depression. The last time I saw Hello Beautiful at a used bookstore, I told myself if I saw it again, I would get it, and I did. So treated myself. And the other book I got is one that I have been debating getting for a long time, and that is Natural Beauty by Ling Huang. This is a horror that is about a woman who gets into like a beauty cult. I've heard that it gets gross, and I don't need to know much more. Like, I think that this has been in like the unhinged women category, the cult category, the people who like Mona Awad category, so like all things that I love. You know, I don't buy a lot of horror because it's so hit or miss, but I wanted to pick this one up and hopefully this works for me. So I had such a fun time doing this bookstore crawl, and I was so happy that Austin came with me and was, you know, a good sport, but he was having fun too. I got to tell him about every single book I've ever read in the bookstore. Thank you so much for coming with me. If you'd like to find me anywhere, you can find me at the links in the description, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, you can hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.